This episode is downright tame compared to last week, but that is perfectly fine. We do not need to talk about over 100 action figures every single week. It is okay to slow down. I should know, because I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. First up, a new little line called the Yolopark Transformers AMK Pro Series Generation 1 model kits and their recent announcement of Starscream. Yeah, we discussed this last week with their heavy lean into the 80s cartoon aesthetic, and then, ooh, nipple missiles. Mipples? Come to find out, I missed some promo shots. There's also some foot blasts for some flying action type posing. Then something I forgot to mention is the light up eyes, which is pretty standard so far in the AMK Pro series, but we're bringing it back around. I thought I'd point it out. But that's not all. There is also a nugget of news to report. Just yesterday, Yolopark announced that if you pre-order Starscream directly from them, you will receive a free gift of an acrylic stand. At first, I thought it was just a flat base, and then the Transformers logo plugged down into it, and then you take the figure, stand that on top. But I don't think that's the case. Or it may be, depending on what you put on the base. But according to this picture, there's also an acrylic piece with a drawing of Starscream that you plug into there. And according to this picture, it's an image of the figure itself on a flat piece of acrylic that you put on there. That's neat and free and all, but it also kind of worries me. They did not offer this kind of thing with Optimus Prime or Megatron. And conspiracy brain, oh no, are pre-orders for Starscream way lower than we saw with the leaders? Or is this just extra incentive? It's probably that and not that, but you know how it goes. You know how you start thinking. I put it out into the ether last week that the Yolopark Transformers AMK Pro Series Generation 1 model kits is my new main Transformers line to collect. I've started and stopped lines before, but this one seems to be hitting all the check marks that I want in a Transformers line. So of course, since I proclaim that, I fully expect this line to be canceled within the next few releases or something. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll go forever. Maybe it'll give us the whole cast. I would love that, but yeah. We're also going to go back to last week for more MAFEX reveals at the Medicom Exhibition 2024. Thanks to everyone who pointed out that there was a Bruce Wayne in the back of this picture. We talked about this Batman with its brighter blue cape, which is a flashback that somebody pointed out. Yes, it's got the oval on it instead of the... So, yeah, I was so focused on that I didn't even realize that, hey, there's Batman's alter ego up there. Hey, give me a break. I was working off a long line of action figures last week. You know that. It's just bam. I'm gonna miss more stuff. Like Clark Kent also being in the back of this Batgirl picture. What can I say? I'm easily distracted by plastic. Thankfully, I was able to track down a better image of that, giving us a nicer look at Batgirl and Clark Kent. And looking at these, I'm excited for Batgirl. A new character for that display, but I'm not really into the secret identity. You know, from a distance, it's just like dude in suit and other dude in suit. Now, I get their importance, and I get that some people are looking for these. Some people are excited for these. That's perfectly fine. I am taking nothing away from that, but for me, I don't think I need them, and that's okay. But I may be changing that tune when I see painted prototypes. Maybe they'll be like, oh, they come with these special gifts because this and that and add-ons for other figures, and who knows? I can't predict the future. I can say all this stuff right now and then... Doomsday, though, I have no idea how I missed this. Big chunky boy, if this is as good as Bane, then you Reign of Superman fans are in for a treat, because... Over on the Marvel side, here is a better look at Venom 2099. Yes, I know we discussed that, but the picture was small and fuzzy. Here, you could see the actual, the sculpt on top, that spider crawling over. And I'm still going, Venom 2099? Cool. But we're getting a MAFEX Spider-Man 2099. might as well get, you know, someone for him to fight. That brings us to the No Way Home Final Swing Spider-Man, and yes, I did see this last week, but in my brain I was like, they've already announced that. Maybe because it's painted all nice and pretty, but I thought it had already been displayed somewhere at a show before. Apparently not. Maybe I was thinking of some other company's offering, because there's been a few. Easy mistake, but if you've been waiting for the MAFEX version of this suit, looks like it's on its way. I was way more interested in getting a better look at that Jim Lee X-Men Iceman, and it just kind of comes off as a blank basic body. I know, that is Bobby's design, but I may have built it up in my head a little too much. I think I did say last week that I was hoping for some angles to some of the curves, make it a bit more icy. We may have to rely on paints and or top of plastic here. Or an impressive ice slide as an accessory. You know how they just gave Phoenix her own Firebird in that box? So I'm expecting maybe some blast effects, maybe maybe the power inhibitor belt, the championship X Factor belt. Don't get me wrong, I'm still excited for this because I still don't have a really great Drake on the shelf. I'm hoping this is that. But there's also something new for the Merry Marvel Mutants. This picture showed up showing the Age of Apocalypse display, and if you zoom way in and get real fuzzy, seems like they're gonna give y'all a Nate Gray. And I say y'all because I'm not the biggest AOA fan. But again, hey, I know there is fans out there who want this. And I will admit, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, Wolverine and Cyclops too! But it didn't lock in my brain last year that they showed that at the previous exhibition. So they're building that up. It seems like I forgot about some Mezco 1/12 Collective reveals too. Again, not because I wanted to, but because there was so much going on. I know I keep harping on that, but when I get comments of, hey, I know you talked about 112 toys, but you missed this one. How dare you? They've revised the Miles head sculpt to look even better, and hey, opportune time here because we're going to be talking about more Spider-Man later. So if you like your Mezcos, then here's that. For original IPs, there is a new Doc Nocturnal that is bigger and bulkier. I've got nothing against. In fact, I really like the size of the first one. Like, he comes out of the shadows and it's a skull and he looks all badass, and then he's a little shorter and thinner than you expect. So to me, this is an older version where he's built up, bulked up. Tangerine also debuted for Rumble Society, and from what I hear, it's gonna handle as nice as it looks. So yeah, I prepare for this. Then for DC, we saw a tease for Nightwing a couple of weeks back, but here is the full package. A little bit more tactical than I'm used to, but I wouldn't expect any less from 1/12 Collective. It's gonna have some Mezcofications. He says, flipping to Golden Age Robin, looking as classic can get. I know this was solicited earlier in the year, but I wanted to give an idea that Mezco can go comic accurate when they want to. More than that, there's also an option when it comes to this character. If you like some big dick, get this one. If you like some smaller dick, there's this one available. What more could you want? Okay, y'all know that I do not follow Four Horsemen lines closely. I usually see them at a show or online and go, oh, those are neat. I can appreciate them through glass or from afar, and that's the exact situation I find myself in looking at the newest wave of Cosmic Legions. I saw a social media post. I clicked through, I saw the title Ox Crew Book 2 Harrow Zone. I perused the pretty promotional pictures and I said, oh, those are neat. Without actually reading the story, because what's my name? Say it. Say it. But knowing nothing about the characters, they give me a very Mad Max kind of feel. Mad Max in space. At least some of them. Well, okay, Anthopheles is a little too bee-like to fit within that realm, but I will say that this is my favorite to go back and look at, just because of the bee-like qualities. That's followed closely by Bungie, the mighty bug steed. Maybe it's the soft goods on characters like High Lord Kryn. It comes off as very post-apocalyptic. Maybe not so much with Jobara Key. It comes off as space magician. I'm not gonna say it. But then throw on a helmet or let 1/6 Shooter do his magic and it goes back into scavenger territory. Cog is also tempting, but only because I adore big bulky spacesuits, especially when there's some alien features poking through. But see, the Thracian Hunter would look right at home up on a sand dune, waiting for that caravan to pass by. That's all along with the Wasteland Survival Kit, which may be the biggest clue as to what this feels like, because it's right there in the name. You can build out the Cosmic Legion's world even more into various sectors of the universe. We roll right along with more Robo Don't Knows with Kyoto's announcement of the amazing Yamaguchi Street Fighter VI Chun-Li. Again, you know the deal. I barely know the characters when it comes to Street Fighter II, which I did watch some at arcades back in the day. Saying that, I recognize that this is Chun-Li. If you had just shown me the picture, I would have went, is that Chun-Li? She's recognizable even with some massive design work. And yes, I'm talking about the legs. Good grief. That's all fine and dandy. It's just from a different era, one I am unfamiliar with. But I am going to stray away from my fence sitting when it comes to Revoltech joints and go, God dang, that elbow is ugly. Nurse, prep the OR for surgery. We're going to have to remove that immediately. We're also going to have to work on that knee jutting awkwardly off to the side. Now, I can chalk that up to the photographer not seeing that when the picture was taken. But, ooh, well, I always say when it comes to Amazing Yamaguchi, when it comes to Revoltech, that sometimes you have to cleverly pose it in order to hide some of the gaps, some of the joints. It's going to have to be posed like the left, bent and behind. Now, instead of the, how dare you like those terrible figure comments, I'm going to get, how dare you hate those awesome figure comments, because I can't win, but I love you anyway. We are not done exploring the depths of Robo's Don't Knowingness with the LooseCollector / Executive Replicas iconic Heroes series Captain Canuck. No, I didn't know this was an actual comic character, much less that it's a 50-year-old comic character. At first glance, I thought, did Guardian get a redesign? You know, Alpha Flight? Because that's my only frame of reference when it comes to Canadian action figures and superheroes. Saying that, I do like the look of the figure. The colors are nice, the design is neat, it seems like it'd be right at home next to LooseCollector's Rob Liefeld figures that are coming at some point. Or like I mentioned, stuff this into a Marvel display. He can be the new Weapon Alpha or something. Or maybe you're a huge Captain Canuck fan. And if you are, here's your chance, finally. Easing out of Don't Know territory, even though I'm going to keep my toe dipped a little bit, Hasbro announced a new wave of Spider-Verse Marvel Legends figures. And I say it like that because I still have not watched Across the Spider-Verse. I know. Believe me, I know. So I'm left over here wondering why Spider-Gwen and Spider-Punk have purple hues to them. Not super noticeable on Gwen, but there's no denying that Punk is not in his standard costume, or lighting, or whatever is going on here. I do like it comes with a second head in regular lighting that you can take and put on the original release of Spider-Punk that I passed on at the time because I hadn't seen the movie and still haven't, so I never tracked one down. But now seeing this to that, Gwen's extra goodie is Lila, Spider-Man 2099's hologram assistant. But don't worry if you didn't grab that the first time around, he's also available in this wave too, just in a darker color scheme and with an unmasked head. Hasbro included a side-by-side for that, and looking at it, it seems to be most of the same sculpt, except maybe the upper traps. I don't know why they would change that, but it does seem to have more angle to them. Or maybe not. Maybe it's the angle of the shot itself. I went through this whole thought process a couple weeks ago when Bandai showed their SH Figuarts Spider-Man India, so I was prepared for the Legends version. This is not quite as nice as the SHF, but it's not quite the price either, so pick your poison. Miles's Prowler is completely lost on me, but he does share that kind of color scheme with Spider-Punk and Spider-Gwen. Are they connected somehow? Do they go together? Is that part of the movie where they go into that? I don't know, but I like the look of this figure. For the last two figures, they jump back to Into the Spider-Verse with a new version of Miles that kind of captures the feel of the first movie better than the first offering that they gave us in Legends. Then there's also Peter Parker, who I don't think we've got in Legends form before, so that's kind of neat. Or if you just want an animated style Spider-Man, there's also that look too. Plus I've seen that movie, so maybe I'll snag Miles and Peter. And then sit down, watch Across the Spider-Verse, regret passing on the first wave, and grab what catches my eye here. Round and round the collecting wheel goes. You just never know what's gonna happen. Lastly, hey, I wonder what this Chaos Toys National Defender is based on. Surely it's not a realistic take on the Dark Knight Returns Superman. No way. No. Well, as realistic as an overly muscle guy in a blue and red spandex suit can get. But I'll be damned if I do not love the look of this figure, the proportions, the size. Yes, the arms are like bam compared to the chest, but it still balances out somehow because it evokes the feel of the original artwork from those comics. I also love that they went with plastic or rubber trunks over the fabric blue bodysuit. It keeps the aesthetic without coming off like a diaper. In fact, let's go back to the Mezco 1/12 Collective Golden Age Robin. See that? It's not terrible, and it fits their designs. It fits what they're going for. But this, with the sculpted in wrinkles and everything, it helps along the illusion. It enhances that. The cape drapes beautifully, the angles are cut for movement, there's some alternate heads, there's the kryptonite arrow, there is a Batman versus Superman movie type Batman helmet involved. I don't know if that's to swerve or if they've done a Batman figure before or something, but the rest of this far outweighs that one little piece. Because look at the head. Good grief. I know nothing about this company, but if the final product can look like this, then that's some artwork for your shelf. I did manage to find a picture of the chest logo without the pixelation to give the full effect, and I am not the biggest Superman fan, but I am a super fan of this big man. That's all there is to it. Sometimes you just look at a toy and you just know. And that's all I got for this week. I think I kind of balanced out the lesser number of figures to talk about with an extra amount of rambling. You give me a minute, I'll give you a mile. As always, special thanks to the Nobots, the Patreon. They got another special sneak peek at the next Playday that when I got an extra of this figure, I had no clue what I was going to do with it until I searched Freedom Force Spiral. And some pictures came up and I thought, no. Oh, yes, maybe I will try out this new chrome marker gold pen set and see what happens, along with some mustard spray paint. I have some more customs that I'm wanting to finish up before doing that Playday, but it should be soon, hopefully. That work in progress pile is just getting bigger and bigger. I love starting them, but sometimes I lose a little steam before getting to the finish line. And then it'll sit on the desk for a while, and then I'll do other things, and then I'll lose the urge altogether. Everything back there sits for months, and then when I come back to it, I'm like, why didn't I finish that? That looks much better. Fresh eyes, I guess. I don't know what else to talk about. Oh yeah, the Jada Toys interview walkthrough from San Diego Comic-Con. June was holding the lav mic and I'd plugged it into my phone. I'd never used that before. I had no clue about the settings. It was showing talking, but I think noise reduction was on, and apparently that microphone's noise reduction isn't that great. I get it, I know, but I've already ordered new lav mics for the next time we do something like that, or when I do some running and gunning in here, because this is almost getting to the point where I'm going to do a tour of my new space. And I also need to work on these microphones. It's okay right here, talking, but when I turn and look to the side, talking here, it loses something because I'm not pointing at the microphones. That's pretty much common sense, but that's where I am today. But that's completely Robo problems, isn't it? I'm not throwing that out there. Just talking, just chatting. How y'all doing? Having a good week? Got anything planned for the weekend? Cool. See you all next week. Love you. Bye.